stretch class to get you going in your day. We're going to start in a seated position, and we're going to do our cross-leg position. Please remember that you can sit up on a block or a book or even a couple of towels in order to allow your knees to fall down to the floor. Sitting in a cross-leg position is a great way to open your hips, and you also want to maintain great posture. Take your hands underneath your knees. That way you're feeling nice and anchored. We're going to take a few inhales and exhales. And while you're taking your inhales and exhales, start scanning through your body for anything that you're feeling, any thoughts that come up, and just let them float away. I like to think about thoughts or feelings as clouds in the sky. They just kind of float right by, and you don't pay them a whole lot of attention. When you're ready, let's open the eyes. We're going to take our hands, we're going to slide them in, elbows locked by the side. We're going to lift up our chest, drop the head and neck back. As you exhale, tuck your chin to chest, take your hands underneath your knees, and we're going to round through the spine, and we're going to take a lean back. When you start to lean back, maybe your knees lift up a little bit, you come back a little bit more, you feel a really great stretch around the upper part of your back. Inhale, come forward. We're going to slide the hands, the elbows in. This is our seated cat and cows, and that way we open up the front and the back of the body. We're lifting up the chest, dropping the head and neck back, and rounding forward once again with the exhale. Chin tucking to chest, we're going to lean back a little bit more. And last time, bring it up. Squeeze and hold. Let's make this one even bigger as we activate the muscles down the back of the body. We're opening up through the front of the chest, all the way down through the core. Exhale, round it forward. Hold on a little bit more, and don't be afraid to lean back even more. The worst case, you just fall onto your back. And come up. From this position, we're heading into the body rolls. We're going to take our chest forward. We're going to deconstruct those body rolls. I want you to lean forward and then take a lean over to your right. We're taking our left shoulder and we're going to turn that left shoulder down. Your left hand presses that left knee away, and you're going to feel a beautiful stretch into that left hip. Inhale as you come up through the center, and then exhale. We take that shoulder on the right side, we turn it down. Your right hand presses that right knee away. And now we're going to add movement to it. We take that lean over to the right. We circle the chest down through the front, and we take it over to the left. Lean back, just like we did in our seated cat and cows, and now we just flow with it. Bring your attention into your hips, into your waist. Everything is moving and flowing smoothly. When you do a few turns, you can reverse the motion and take your turn in the other direction, going around and around. And one more to come up through the center. After you complete those, take your legs out for a moment. Shake the legs out. The cross-leg position can be a little uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the more your body adjusts to it, your hips open up, and it's just a great way, passive way to open the hips. We want to take the opposite foot in front this time. If you're used to going right foot in, left foot out, please take it in the other direction, because if you keep going in the same way, your body gets used to it, and we create muscle imbalances that way. Grab your block or your book, anything that's going to bring the floor closer to you. We're taking our fingertips to the block, and we're going to slide the block forward. Reaching it out, leaning into it. You're going to know where to stop because your hips are going to start to lift off of the mat. When that happens, anchor into your hips and maybe reach a little more forward. You might find that you don't need the block, but it's a good way to get started with this move. Stay here, take your chin, look it down to the chest. Look underneath the right arm. to the left. We're going to have an emphasis on the left hand and left side body. Remember to keep both hands reaching forward and active. If you collapse, we don't get as much out of this move. We're going to slide back through the center and then continue to slide until the block is over to the left side. Now we have the right side getting the stretch. Let's come back to the center, and we're going to slowly bring ourselves in and take the block to the side. And we're going to work into the neck a little bit more before we come up to our standing position. Take your left hand up and over to the right ear and tilt your left ear to left shoulder. We want to think about the right shoulder dropping heavy and the right hand landing heavy in our lap. Your eyes are going to be at the ceiling. We're looking up, not down. And we're feeling a really great stretch on the right side of our neck. From this position, we can tuck the chin just a little bit and maybe look down into our lap. Now remember that this left hand is resting on the right ear and we're not pulling anything. Then we're going to slowly do a bigger tuck of the chin and decide if we're going to make that turn to look underneath the left arm or down at the left hip. Slowly bring your head back to neutral. We're going to remove that left arm and hand and place it in our lap. Before we move to the other side, we're going to do a tuck of the chin. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, drop the head and neck back. And one more time, tuck the chin. Feel the length on the back of the neck, keeping your hands on your feet and anchored into your lap. And a big inhale to come up and drop the head and neck back. Bring your head back to neutral, and we're going to do the other side. We're going to take our right arm up and over to the left ear, and then we're going to drop right ear to right shoulder. On this side, we want to drop this left shoulder down and make it nice and heavy. Eyes are gazing up at the ceiling. Nice, steady, even, deep breathing. Feel free to tuck your chin to your chest. And maybe continue this move until you are turning and looking underneath the right arm. Remember, all of our movements in our stretch classes are 70% of your full range of motion. Just think of a scale from 1 to 10. You want your stretches to be at a 7. And slowly come up. Remove the hand. Place the hands back onto your feet, into your lap. And once again, we're just going to undo a little bit of that neck work by taking some very slow and steady circles around and around. 3 always seems to be the number that I go with, but if you want to do 2 or you want to do more, that's up to you. Just remember to reverse the motion. We always go in both directions. Coming up through the center, we're going to now take our feet and legs out into our L position. We're going to take our legs long down the mat. And we're going to make sure in our L that we have our ears, shoulders, and hips in line. That's our starting position. We're going to take our right foot, slide it into the body. And when you get to this position, a lot of times we can lean back or we can slump forward, but what we want to do is maintain that nice tall neutral spine. We're going to take that right foot and bring it over the left thigh. In this position, we have our right foot up high, above the knee, would be where we would love to have it. And the whole foot is pressing into the mat. We're going to wrap this left elbow around the right knee. Our right hand comes behind that right hip. Take a big inhale to create length in your spine. Exhale as you turn to look past that right shoulder. We warmed up the neck so the neck is able to turn, but we want to make sure that our twist is happening low and finishing high and getting that beautiful external rotation of the shoulders, the right shoulder. Come out of your twist, and we're going to do a counter twist. We're going to bring our arms up, we're going to create some space, and then we're going to take both palms over to the left. We're going to press our palms into the floor, and we're going to get our elbows to bend, and our forehead comes close to the floor. We slowly come back up, and we undo our right leg and bring it down to meet the left. We're going to go to our left side, bringing our left foot to the mat, drawing that left heel in close to the backside, maintaining that great posture. When you're ready, left foot comes over that right thigh. And remember, we want to place that foot above the knee. We now take our right elbow, we wrap it around, and we take our left hand behind the left hip. We find that beautiful space in the spine with a big inhale, and then exhale, we're rotating. We're going to look past that left shoulder. And we hold that, we feel good. We come back through the center, lift both arms up, biceps framing the ears, and then we rotate around, bringing both hands to the right side. We're going to come low, our face, our chin, everything gets low to the floor. We want to maintain our lower body on the mat. We're going to lean over a little bit, but not too much, and then we slowly come back up. Undo your left leg and bring it down to the right. We're going to go into our first double leg forward fold. To get into this one, nice and easy, I want you to have a bend in both of your knees. And it's a pretty big bend. We're going to flex our feet up to the ceiling, and here come the arms. They're coming up. We're creating length here. Because what we want to do is come forward on the exhale, bringing our toes and fingers to touch. Once we get here, you might not be getting much out of that stretch. The good news is we start to straighten out the legs. And here's where we get a really great stretch on the back of the legs. We might even feel a little bit of our lower back getting a stretch. That's great too. You can stay here upright, or feel free to come a little bit lower into this stretch. You can drop your arms by your calves, dropping your forehead down onto your knees. It's a little bit of a head to knee pose is what it's really called. And we're coming on down. Inhale, bring yourself up. And we're also going to take our right foot back in, but this time we're taking our right knee out to the side. We're going to take our right foot and place it to the inside of this left thigh. And we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. We're going to take this left hand to the right knee. We're going to get a beautiful side bend on that right side. We're going to lift up our right arm. And here's where this stretch can go off the rails a little bit. A lot of times we want to reach forward and bring that right hand in front of our face. Instead, what we really want to do is keep the right arm where it is, and it should be in line with your ear, this right bicep. And we're going to just lean. We're leaning over to the left. You can turn and look at that right bicep, and it should be by the ear. You should be able to see it when you look up. Also, this right knee is not lifted up. We've kind of got it anchored, so all of this is opening. It doesn't matter. Some people want to get here and touch the toes. Our main goal is just to open up this side body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, take that right leg long, and let's take this move to our left side. We're going to take our left foot, bring it into the inside of the right thigh. We're going to rotate around, taking our right hand to our left knee. Remember, we want to think about our belly button shooting out a laser beam down the left knee. Inhale, lift up this left arm. Exhale, side bend and lean your body over to the right. You can always turn and look at that left bicep. Check out where it is. We're going to maintain the length in this left arm. If you start to get that angle, that chicken wing going on, keep it long, keep it reaching. Inhale as we come up. Exhale, we're taking both legs long, and then we're going to kick our legs out to the left, and we're going to come into a child's pose. Take your knees out wide. Let them line up with the edge of your mat. Our big toes are touching, and slowly lower down. Our goal here is to allow the hips to land on the ankles, on the heels. And we want to reach with both hands to the front of the mat, letting the forehead get low, everything land on your mat. When you get here, take some big inhales and exhales and feel the broadness of your back. Bring the awareness there. Keep reaching the hands, the arms nice and long. And we're going to take our elbows to the mat. We're going to bend at the elbows and bring your fingertips to reach your shoulder blades. As you do that, walk your elbows a little more to the front of the mat and sink a little bit lower. This might move your stretch into the triceps, into the shoulders a little bit more. And we're going to maintain our hips low on top of the heels. Slowly bring your arms and hands forward, press into your mat, and we're going to press up into a tabletop position. We're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, spreading the fingers wide. Knees line up underneath your hips. Get ready for that big inhale to raise up your chin, chest, forehead, tailbone. Looking up at the ceiling with your eyes. Exhale, round. Bringing your chin to chest, we're going to press into the top of the feet and both shoulder blades lift up. Inhale again, chin, chest, forehead, tailbone, up, looking up. We can always think about that big arch in the lower back, making it a little bigger, letting the belly drop. Exhale, rounding it up, chin to chest, press into the tops of the feet for a little bit more. And here we go, one more time, big inhale, chin, chest, forehead, tailbone, biggest one yet. And exhale, bring it up. And return to your neutral tabletop. Bring your right leg out behind you. Now remember, in this position, sometimes we dip low. Puff up the space between your shoulder blades. Arms are nice and long. We're going to take this right foot, turn it out. We're coming into a side plank position. It's a modified side plank. Feel free to bring it into a full side plank if you feel good about that. It's going to be both legs. I always stay with a modified side plank because I just feel a little more supported in that position. Inhale and peel open your right arm. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. We would love to stack those shoulders so that's a straight line from your right palm all the way down through the left. Continue to reach up and feel lifted. I always call this one the mood enhancer, because there's something magical about being lifted and floating everything up. We can now reach that right arm. Once again, keeping it long, no chicken wings here. We are reaching out through that right hip as well. Feel free to give yourself some circles. 2 big sweeping circles are beautiful. And feel free to take it in the other direction. You know how we do it. Return to that side plank position. Hold it one more time. Bring it down. Reset into your tabletop position. Extend your left leg behind. Fix the dip. Turning out that left foot. We are planted on the left foot, right knee, right hand, peeling open the left arm, letting it stack on top of that right shoulder. Feel the balance, feel your body shaking and moving. Reach that left arm forward. And we're going to circle 2 big sweeping circles. Be generous with the circles and sweep it around in the other direction. Come back. And we're going into a whole different direction today, everybody. Walk your hands all the way out to the front of your mat. We're going to curl the toes under, and we've got a downward dog coming your way. Now, this is getting a little more advanced because our classes are progressing. So if this one is a little bit too much for you, just go back into your tabletop position. In this downward dog, ideally we love to have both heels down on the floor, and we're bringing our chest a little bit closer to our thighs. And slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands, and we're going to come up to stand. I should label this one warning a little more advanced for everybody. We're coming into our standing poses now. We're energized, we're ready for them. Inhale, raise the arms and hands up to the ceiling. Take your right hand, grab the left wrist. Let's take a lean over to the right side of the room. Take your left hip, bump it out to the left a little bit more. Come back around through the center, switch your hands. Left hand grabs the right wrist, reach up and out of your body and bump your right hip out to the right for a little bit more. Come back through the center, fan the arms down, bring the hands behind you. Take your hands, press them away from your body, lift up the chest, drop the head and neck back. We've got a full body, front body opener right here. Inhale to come up, exhale. Here we go, all the way down. From this position, side view for you here. We've got our hands together, interlaced through the fingers. We're getting ready for a big opening here in your whole body. Big inhale, we're going to straighten out the legs, lift up and out of your arms and your shoulders. Hands are together, but if that's too much for your shoulders, undo the hands. That's going to be a better position. Up and over, reach, reach, reach a little bit more. Slowly bring the hands back behind you, undo them, let them fall forward and hang heavy. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow. You can rebend your knees, keep the pressure off the lower back, and slowly let the elbows go side to side. Let the elbows pass the outside of the knees for a little bigger sway. And then drop the hands down. We're going to slowly roll back up one vertebrae at a time until we are back up into our standing position. If you've come to our stretch classes, you know we always add some movement. Our stretch class is a mixture of yoga, basic stretching, and a little thing called Qigong, which is a Chinese movement. And it brings a lot of energy into the body. We don't want to get too crazy with it because I know it turns some people off. But these moves have a Qigong base to them. They are flowing movements. That's where we're headed next, everybody. Our first one is the empty coat stretch. Pretend you have on a coat, your arms are not in the sleeves, and the sleeves are just flailing around. Here's what it looks like. Nice, flowing movements that we don't even think about because our body just does it. And once again, this is bringing some beautiful energy into the body, and the body is moving. It knows what to do. Variations on this one is a little tap. You form a little fist and you give a little tap. That is hitting the back of the kidneys, your back where your kidneys are, and that brings a lot of beautiful energy. It releases energy into the body. And you know, we need some energy to live this life. So keep going with this one. And a variation of this one are our pendulum swings. We tilt a little more forward with the body, a side view for you here, and we just let the arms swing in front of us. Notice how your lower body is also moving. Lower body moves, and we don't think too much about it. We set it and we forget it. Beautiful work here to get you energized. If you're doing this in the morning or you need a little midday pick-me-up, here it is. And 3, 2, and 1. We're going to make our way back down to the mat for a little more work into our hips. Feel free to get yourself into a position to add more core into your life. I always tell people in our class, bring your feet half on, half off the mat. We're going to bring our arms and hands together. We do a little 007 action right here. Tuck the chin, and we roll down. We want to roll down one vertebrae at a time. And we slowly make our way down. Great work for the core, better than some sit-ups, believe it or not. Inhale and raise the arms and hands high overhead. Reaching your fingertips to the back, your toes to the front. Reach, stretch, grow taller in that spine. Exhale as you bring the knees in. Add your rocks right and left. And one more full body extension. Reaching those fingers and hands to the back, toes to the front. If you want a little change here, turn the palms to face each other. Heels ground down and toes point up. Exhale, drawing the knees into your chest one more time. But on this move, we want to extend our knees away from us just a little bit so that our calves are parallel to our mat. One important thing to keep in mind, I want you to slide your hand underneath your lower back, and you shouldn't be able to have any space there. We want to flatten our back to the mat, finding that neutral spine, and that's how we protect our lower back. Extend your arms out to the side with the back of the hands resting on the floor. Use your inhale here, and the exhale takes our knees over to the right. We're taking our knees to the right, but we're going to hover those knees. We're going to hover them about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. You want to press into your left shoulder, and it is that beautiful spiral line stretch that we're getting from our left shoulder all the way down, left side of our body, left hip, and also down the legs. Inhale, bring it up through the center. Exhale, we take that, both knees over to the left side. Press your right shoulder into the mat and let those knees hover. One more time. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, knees drop over to the right. Pressing for support into that left shoulder, left arm. Inhale, come back up through the center. And exhale, we drop those knees over to the left side. Take a deep breath over into that right side. Feel that beautiful stretch. And then we bring it back up through the center for a big hug. Once you get that big hug going, I want you to take your hands to the inside of your knees and let your knees pull apart. We have a wide knee, happy baby coming. We bring our feet and we bring them up to the ceiling. Take your hands and arms to the inside of your knees and then grab the outside of your feet. If that's not going to work for you, find your ankles, find your shins, and that's going to work beautifully. We're going to let the energy shoot out of our heels as we're actively drawing down with our hands on the outside of our feet or ankles or shins. And we've got a beautiful hip opener right here. If you want to add on to this move, some people do like to take those rocks right and left. And that's a nice way to bring some energy into your lower back. Let's bring it back up to the ceiling with our feet. Hold it for just a little bit longer. And then slowly remove the hands, and we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And we're going to take our hands around the outside of our feet. We're going to let everything get a little bit long down the base of our neck as our arms reach and get a little bit longer. Press those knees away from your body, and this is a beautiful way to open up the inside of your legs as well as your hips. And if you're doing this right and adding on all those pieces, the base of your neck and your upper back's getting a little stretch as well. Slowly allow your hands to come away from the feet, and we're going to land those feet for our final pose. Like I said, this is a 30-minute one, so this one a little bit shorter than our traditional stretch class. You can bring your hands down by the side with the palms up. When we have our palms up, we are receiving that beautiful energy. When we have our palms down, we're grounding. So remember, at the end of the class, we want the palms up. If you prefer to have a little more traditional relaxation pose, just take your legs out to the corner edges of your mat. Take that big inhale. As you're taking that inhale, we're going to draw it up from the soles of the feet, taking that inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Slow, steady exhale as we scan the rest of our body, starting at the crown of the head, releasing anything in that area, traveling down into our neck, our shoulders, and taking that exhale out through the fingertips. Let's continue traveling down the full length of our spine, into both hips and out through both legs. Relaxing a little bit deeper now, feeling very heavy on your mat. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes, circling the wrists and ankles. Let's bring the knees in for a hug. And we're going to turn that hug into a rock forward and back until we have rocked up into a seated position. And we've come full circle. We'll place the back of the hands on the knees. We'll roll the shoulders down and back, and we're going to seal in that hard work that you just did for your body. And let's take the arms out by the side, big sweep up, bring the palms together, and bringing those palms down through the center. And then we send a little love for everybody out there. Thank you.